Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy if you're new here, and I post travel, Disney, my fitness journey, and a clean with me video every single week. So please consider subscribing to my channel. I have the rest of my cruise series coming from my trip on the Carnival Celebration, so stay tuned for all of that. And today is another week of my fitness journey. Today is Sunday. I'm going to be doing a cardio, hopefully, but I'm for sure doing a abs and mobility workout. I say hopefully I do some type of cardio because I injured my foot. See my last fitness journey video for that because I went into a little bit more detail. I injured my foot when we were on the cruise, and then the vlog for that day on my cruise is coming. So stay tuned for all of that. Anyway, it was my little toe. So shoes really hurt sometimes, and so I'm not sure if it can handle running, but I'm going to try. And if it's too much, maybe I will just walk. I want to run because I miss running and I want to get back into it. And the only way to get back into it is to do it. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get into today's workout before I decide I don't want to do it at all. So I'm going to start with my mobility and abs and then something on the treadmill. So let's get into it. I just finished mobility and abs, and I'm not sure if I can run. We'll see. Put shoes on, find out, see how my toe feels. But I'm gonna try. So yeah, I spent about 26 minutes doing the mobility and abs, so that's a pretty good amount of time for that, for today not being a strength training day. So let's see if I can do a run. I started a program in Runna. It's like an 8-week program thing. So the first one is like 1.8 miles or something like that. So I'm going to see if I can do it. Gonna try. Okay, so I did 25 minutes, I think. There were a couple intervals, because it was an interval run. It was 1 minute running, 1.5 minute walking intervals for 6 of those. And so I did 5 of them at a really slow run. Like I had my treadmill set to 3.5 for the running and 2.5 for the walking portions of it. And then at the very, very end, I did about 2 for my walking. My toe feels okay. Definitely would not have been able to run any faster. My body isn't there yet anyway. So you know what? I'll take it. This is fine. This will work. But yeah, so pretty proud of today's workout. Mobility, abs, and some cardio, even if it wasn't as much cardio as I would have wanted, but that's okay. I need this toe to heal, so I don't want to overdo it. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow for a strength training workout. Okay, so here we are. It is Monday, so here we are for day 2, and it is a strength training day, which is squat, tempo bench, and squat accessories. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to start with abs mobility and then try to walk quite a bit. I have been sat down editing pretty much all day, and it's like 2 o'clock, so I need to get some more movement in. So what I'm going to do is allow myself to scroll through TikTok while I walk on the treadmill. So, because I really don't want to. I actually woke up with a pretty bad headache this morning. It's mostly gone away, and I've eaten, so feeling a lot better than I did this morning. But I really don't want to work out. But that's for no reason other than I just don't want to. So that's not a good enough reason for me to not. So I'm here, and let's go ahead and get into this workout. workout complete. I did not finish off that last exercise, the lunges, because my toe, it really hurts. I can't like do this with my toes, if that makes sense. So a lunge just doesn't work, but I'm okay with it flat. I can walk. So I am going to walk for a bit on the treadmill and probably just watch some TikToks, to be honest, because I haven't done that all day because I've been editing all day. Yeah, but I need to get steps. So I'm going to do both at the same time. I will just see you guys tomorrow for my second strength training workout of the week. So see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it is Tuesday. So today is day 3, but also the second strength training workout. And today is mostly upper body and then 1 squat variation. So I am fairly sore from yesterday's workout and I slept weird. So like my shoulder here hurts, especially like when I move my neck. So it's really weird. So I'm going to try to foam roll just a little bit and help relieve some of that. And then my quads are really, really sore also from yesterday, which is really good. I mean, it's not, too bad. I can still get through today's workout. And then I'm going to start with my mobility abs and then I'll do my strength training workout. And then I'm just going to walk on the treadmill like I did yesterday. Today's not a cardio day. I already have 4,000 steps for today. I'm trying to get as close to 10,000 steps as I can with my toe being injured. So I can't run a whole lot, which would obviously increase, my cardio, but I still want to get more movement in than I get because I don't get a whole lot of movement, especially when I'm sitting down editing for hours at a time. And my job requires a lot of driving. So I'm sitting and driving for long periods of time. So I don't get a lot of daily movement in my just everyday life. So I have to actively seek out movement. So I'm going to walk for a bit, probably scroll through TikTok like I did yesterday. I have been editing last week's video, which is the video technically goes up tomorrow in real time, but it'll have been last week's My Fitness Journey video. And I've made so much progress that I didn't quite realize I made until I was going back through and really analyzing the workout clips. So I am pretty excited to see that even in 6 months with less consistent workouts than I would have wanted, I still made a ton of progress. And so that gives me a lot of motivation to continue working out to my actual plan. So my 4 strength training days and my cardio days, and just see where this progress can be in 8 weeks. So yeah, I am pretty excited for that, but I need to stop yapping so I can get this workout done and not procrastinate because I didn't want to actually work out, but here I am. Anyway, let's get into it. finished my workout. I still have to walk, and I just realized today and yesterday, I totally forgot to use my mouth guard while I'm lifting. So I need to make sure, did I say today and tomorrow? Today and yesterday. I don't know if I said that correctly, but anyway, that's what I meant. I need to use that, especially as I start to get heavier in weight. Even though this week is fairly low, kind of easing back into it and also focusing on hypertrophy. So kind of like more reps, less weight kind of thing. Yeah, as to not like fully hop right in, because I don't think I actually mentioned I had not worked out for 2 whole weeks. I was on vacation. I pretty much walked the entire time I was on that vacation. So I walked a ton, but I didn't actually do any strength training workouts or anything like that. I just wanted to ease myself into it. There were a couple of weights that I know that I can increase. Like today, my bench definitely can increase that next week. So that's pretty good. Squats, not sure if I can increase that next week or not, because I'm doing pyramid style. I'm focusing on reps and sets instead of the actual weight itself. So trying to like fatigue the muscles, if you will. Not quite the right phrase, but that's essentially what's happening. So yeah, I'm going to walk on the treadmill just like I did yesterday. My toe feels fine walking, so I'm going to keep doing that until I can actually run a good amount. So tomorrow is a cardio day, so I will see you guys for tomorrow. Okay, today is Sunday. The last workout I did was on Tuesday of last week, and yeah, Wednesday I had a migraine. Thursday I had my brother's graduation, and then Friday and Saturday, I was having some pretty bad period cramps. So I did not work out those days, but I'm going to continue on today and tomorrow with this video and do my other 2 strength training days, and then begin the next video on Tuesday of this week for 5 workouts, 4 strength training, and then a cardio day on Tuesday. So that's the plan. And sometimes things happen. So if I have to push it a day or whatever, then that's what I'll do. Or if I have to skip a day, that's also what I'll do. But I did want to continue on and get at least 4 strength training workouts in every single week, even if it is kind of split up within, kind of the next week, whatever it may be. So that's the plan. So today I'm going to be doing, I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing? My iPad's dead. So I need to plug it in and go get my phone so I can figure out what I am doing. Okay, so I'm doing deadlifts, box squats, and deadlift accessory workouts. Oh, box squats sound awful. That's okay. Majority of the workouts are, I've got deadlift, box squats, hip thrusts, RDLs, and flat bench. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm going to start with my mobility, abs, and then after that, I might do some walking. I'm not sure. I may not walk today. I actually have quite a bit of editing I want to get done, but I also wanted to get this workout in as well. So yeah, I'm going to do my warm up and then jump right into the workout. I just finished that workout. I cut the hip thrust short. I overestimated how much weight I could do. My goal was 55 pounds and I put 155, and I put 175 on. That was a bit much. And then realized I am extremely hungry, so I need to shower and then eat dinner. So I am calling my workout here, but I'm pretty proud of, for one, showing up, and two, all the work I was able to do today. So I was having issues with my pinky, like gripping the bar for some reason. It really, really hurt, and it was affecting my form, and I was dumping into my low back because I couldn't grip the bars much, so I started using straps, even though I don't necessarily need straps for that weight I was doing for deadlifts. But yeah, I just didn't want to dump into my low back anymore, so I was using the straps, and that definitely helped a lot. So that feels good, but I'm going to end it here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my 4th strength training workout of the week. Okay, it is Monday. This is my 4th strength training workout and 5th workout of this week. It has been over the course of 9 days. I started this last Sunday, so today's Monday of the following week. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to take it. And then tomorrow I'm going to start with cardio and then my 4 strength training days following that, ending on Saturday. I am pretty excited to get this workout done. I don't want to work out, but I want to work out, if that makes any sense. Not sure if it does, but today's workout, I think, is bench and overhead press and probably a singular squat, something. Variation, something like that. So I'm going to start with my mobility abs and jump into strength training. And then I'm probably going to walk for a bit on the treadmill. And yeah, so I'm going to get started. actually forgot my retainer for literally half my workout, so I'm starting to get a headache. Probably need some electrolytes, so I'm gonna do that. I just finished walking for 30 minutes on the treadmill and posted my workout to Instagram stories, and of course scrolling through TikTok for the rest of the 30 minutes. So yeah, I am done with all of my workout. I'm pretty proud of myself for making sure I still got my 4 training days for this week, even if it did spill into the next week a little bit, but that's okay. I have time for this next week to do all 4 training days and a run. So that is the plan. So I'm going to end this video here. My watch is telling me I forgot to end the workout. I just did an indoor walk for 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I post my fitness journey video every single week, and then a clean with me video every week, and then a travel video every week. So 3 videos a week. And if any of that also interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I am super excited to see where my fitness journey goes from here. So I will be beginning week 2 of this new 8-week block tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.